I do want to speak about what Ivan Rakitic had to say about what type of team Barcelona were when he was at the club, and I'm going to be explaining why he was saying such things based off what happened at Barcelona in the past 7 years. And then I'm also going to give out solution towards how this brand new team with Lamine Yamal, Cubarsí, Gavi, Pedri, Balde, etc. should move forward, so we do not have to repeat the exact same mistakes that we did in the past 6 to 7 years. Once again, all of this is going to be clarified in this video, and so let's get straight to it. This is what Ivan Rakitic had to state about his time at Barcelona. With all the love and respect for all the teams, Barcelona did not win more titles because we were bored and thinking about things other than football. I have heard many of our colleagues say that they never saw anything like that. This refers to the years after winning the treble with Luis Enrique on the bench, 2016, 2017, etc. Because he later confirmed, we screwed up against Roma and Liverpool, but I'm convinced that the boredom affected us, that we felt too superior. If you don't give your best, we don't win. If we had kept our hunger, we would have won 1 or 2 more Champions League titles. So what does Ivan Rakitic mean by this? What does he mean by we could have won 1 to 2 more Champions League titles while I was there? And so look, one thing is very clear. After the year 2018, the team's competitiveness, hunger diminished for sure. What Rakitic is basically saying is that we lacked drive and that wasted our opportunities to win more titles. That's basically how I'm going to sum it up. And ever since Luis Enrique left, it marked the beginning of the squad's flaws and drop in motivation. And so look, in Luis Enrique's final season, which was the 2016-2017 season, Barcelona did struggle here and there, and especially in La Liga, where they fell behind Real Madrid, and the team did suffer a heavy loss to PSG in the Champions League, but obviously they were able to come back in the second leg. Even though Barcelona had that amazing comeback against PSG, they were still eliminated in the next round against Juventus in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and that was seen as a disappointment. And for the second year in a row, they failed to reach the Champions League semifinals, and that is why a lot of people were saying Luis Enrique needs to leave. He's out. He can only win because of the MSN. We need another coach. We need brand new ideas, new tactics, giving more pressure towards Luis Enrique, and Luis Enrique felt that. And that is why at the end of that season, he said, I have to leave because I am fatigued, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed. Mainly because, again, the media punished Luis Enrique a lot. And what could have happened at that time, at the end of that season, was for the board to say, Luis Enrique, don't worry, we have your back. We're going to fight against the media. We're going to back you. We do think that you do need new players. No worries. We will get you the new players that you do desire. That is what Barcelona should have done, but they did not do that. Keep in mind, that was the exact same year Neymar left and they got injected 200 million euros or more. That money could have been greatly used with Luis Enrique giving out some advice on how to strengthen the team. But Barcelona did not do that. They said, you know what, Luis Enrique, if you want to leave, no worries. We're just going to bring in Valverde. We're going to grab our 220 million euros and splash it to like some random players out there. You guys already know what Barcelona did with the Neymar money. So it did seem like the Barcelona board were standing for the players instead of the coach, which was not okay. So we went on to the next season, which was the 2017-2018 season, and Barcelona lost 3-0 to Roma and tied against Roma globally 4-4. But because Roma scored more goals away from home, it basically meant that Barcelona have been eliminated. And this was Valverde's first season and without Neymar. Once again, that year, even though Barcelona did very well in the league, many people, and it is quite clear, we all came to this conclusion, but many of us were saying Barcelona are mentally not there. How can they lose to a team like Roma? How can they lose 3-0? They had an amazing lead, and all due respect to Roma, but how are you going to let a team like Roma overpower you in aggressiveness, in 1v1 duels, in everything, in mentality, basically everything? And Barcelona were not playing well. They mentally failed, and Valverde failed to make any adjustments during the match that could have been made and could have made Barcelona go to the next round. I'm kind of getting a little pissed off, I'm not going to lie, just like thinking about this match and what could have happened. Like we could have gone to the final, but that is not the whole point of this video, right? This is not a match review between Roma and FC Barcelona. But yeah, basically, you know, to keep it very simple, Valverde did not make adjustments during the game that could have led towards us getting a better chance to get past through Roma. Like we failed to control the midfield, and Roma's physical and high energy approach is what led towards Barcelona stumbling against Roma. I also remember that we had an over-reliance on Lionel Messi, right? We all needed Messi at that time. Messi was the only one generating chances and so forth. So you can see that the team that Barcelona were becoming was already shaping up. It was a team that lacked mentality, that lacked great defensive awareness, that over-relied on Lionel Messi or the brilliance of Luis Suarez and Jordi Alba here and there. So then we came to prime FC Barcelona, right? Prime meaning the Barcelona that over-relied on Messi, and that was basically it. Just the pass from Messi going to Jordi Alba, and for Jordi Alba to make a cutback pass to Lionel Messi, for Messi to meet that ball inside the box and just tap it into the bottom left corner. That Barcelona, that was the prime Barcelona. We got into the 2018-2019 season, and Barcelona were doing okay in the league. But once again, they stumbled against a team like Liverpool in the Champions League. I remember there was a match that that was held before the match against Liverpool, where they lost 4-0, and they did defeat Real Betis. And I remember that was a game where everybody was praising Messi and Suarez, and they were like, you see, Barcelona's back, right? Because the only thing that they were seeing was Messi making amazing assists to Suarez, or Suarez making amazing assists to Messi, or Messi scoring amazing goals. It was a team that was called FC Suarez and Messi. It wasn't FC Barcelona, but that was the exact same game where Messi made a chip goal over the goalkeeper. It was amazing and it was beautiful. And again, I can remember it from top to bottom. Everybody was saying Valverde is better than Luis Enrique. You see, this is the reason why Bartomeu shut down Luis Enrique for Valverde, is because of moments like this. It's amazing, right? Who is going to stop Messi? Who is going to stop Suarez? Who is going to stop Jordi Alba? Barcelona don't need to worry about how many goals they do let in, because Messi will come in and score even more. And that was the whole idea coming from the fans and how they backed this club. I did not even have a YouTube channel. That was actually the exact same year I was about to start my YouTube channel, but I remember I had so many things to say, but I'm like, should I start a YouTube channel? Should I maybe make a video about this? But I did end up making my first video on my channel like 7 to 8 months later, after Barcelona lost to Liverpool. But in this match, Liverpool were very intense, very relentless, aggressive. They pressed Barcelona well. We felt like we were suffocating. The players were suffocating. And when you combine it with the energy of Liverpool and its fans, Barcelona had no chance. They were mentally breaking down. I mean, like, for example, Barcelona were 3-1 up globally at halftime when Liverpool were winning in the second leg. And the one thing that we saw in the locker room was Jordi Alba crying, having a mental breakdown. He was the reason why, by the way, Liverpool scored the first goals, because he made a ridiculous mistake that gave the ball away, and Liverpool had the ball and they scored the first goal, and Jordi Alba was crying. He was like, like if he was a girl, bro, like only with girls or women they're allowed to cry. Like if there's like frustrations going on, or if there's troubles or problems, then yes, you're allowed to cry, speak about your emotions or whatever. But when you are a man, right, you cannot do things like this. There is a job. You're in the middle of war. There is no time for crying. There's no time to talk about your feelings and just tearing up and having a mental breakdown. We don't have time for that. The players don't have time for that. With women is okay, I understand that, but with, like, bro, Jordi Alba is a man. You won the Champions League before. Why are you crying now? And these players that were surrounding Jordi Alba, they felt that. They were looking at Alba, they're like, oh my god, like, oh, look at him, poor him, he's crying, everything's gonna be okay. That, bro, we were in the middle of a war, okay? You felt the energy that Liverpool wanted to win, that they felt like they could have gone to the next round. And the players, I think they actually believed it. Like, they actually said, oh my god, like, I think Liverpool have that chance. That is not supposed to happen. And so you can see that Barcelona were slowly getting poisoned through these seasons. And then came that moment where, Trent made a pass from the corner and the players were not aware at all. They did not care. They were like looking around, not even looking at Trent. And Trent just said, I'm passing the ball quickly to Origi, and Origi scores the goal. And then there you go. Barcelona just crumbled. No awareness, no defensive awareness. They did not care. They were crying in the middle of the game at halftime. And once again, Barcelona were slowly getting poisoned. And the worst thing from all of this was that we started to hear about rumors of, there are these friends inside Barcelona, this group that do not like to be told what to do, right? Mainly because they were tired, or they think that they were just too good. And I don't know who that group was. I'm just gonna assume, based off what I heard, that the group was Messi, Suarez, Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, and Piqué. Like, they said, you know what, we have been here for so long, we are the veterans, we can do whatever we want, and that's basically it. And that's really bad, because you should not allow for players to have this much power inside a club. And once again, going back to what I said, I'm gonna continue to say this, Barcelona continued to get poisoned. And then we went on to the next season, and you guys already know, Barcelona got harassed. They got destroyed by Bayern 8-2. It was embarrassing, by Hansi Flick's Bayern Munich. And Quique Setién was the coach at that time, because Valverde did leave. He left in January 2020. Quique Setién came in to replace him in January 2020. And I remember when Setién came in, one of the first few things that he said to the press was he felt like the squad's physical condition was below the standards required to have high intensity style of play. Like, he knew that these players were not training hard during the training sessions, and that is what led towards Barcelona having poor performances. Like, he came in seeing a very broken mentally and physically Barcelona, and he believed that the players were not fit enough to execute the demands in pressing and fast-paced football. And Setién wanted to increase the intensity of the training sessions, but it was said that the senior players, especially those who have been there for a very long time and were managed by Ernesto Valverde or Luis Enrique, they resisted on those changes. They said, no, we're okay. Like, we don't need to do that. Like, we're too good. Like, we have too much experience. And they had power. Barcelona were slowly getting poisoned. And Rakitic was in the middle of all this saying, what the hell is going on? What happened to the team that I saw when I first came in here back in the 2014-2015 season? And I felt bad for Setién at that time, because he couldn't do anything. And he was only given 6 months. He had no power. He had no position. He knew the problems, but he was afraid to speak up against the players that were being backed by FC Barcelona, because Bartomeu and the rest of the people in power didn't do anything about it. Setién, right, even publicly mentioned, I'm not saying this, he said this, right? He said this, I'm not saying this, but he publicly mentioned that it was challenging to manage such high profile players who had very strong opinions about tactics and the way that the team should play. And so can you imagine all of this going on, and then like COVID hitting, and then Barcelona financially got hit too? The quality of the squad by that point was deteriorating because we couldn't afford anybody. We couldn't bring in any brand new players, no reinforcements. Barcelona were at the rock bottom. And it's crazy to me, right, to see that Xavi Hernandez came in after Koeman, seeing a very broken Barcelona from a physical standpoint and mental standpoint over the past 5 to 8 years. He came in and brought Barcelona their first league title. And keep in mind that even after Barcelona won their first league title after 4 to 5 years of not winning anything, which was Xavi's second season, Gundogan, who spoke back on October 2023, said, "I did not come over here to lose these type of games after they lost against Real Madrid." And he said that the players showed that they did not care. There was not enough frustration. So it was bleeding into the new generation. Whatever Barcelona were between 2016 and 2019, it was bleeding, my friends. Bleeding to the new generation, right? The bad stuff. Luckily now we have Hansi Flick, who I think can bring the authority, can bring the demands, can bring Barcelona, the pressing, the energy, the hunger back. And so that is basically the story and what Rakitic had to witness. All of this is true. And that is the reason why Barcelona suffered so much. Luckily for Real Madrid, they took advantage of Barcelona's dark era. Like for example, back in the 2017-2018 season, we could have easily faced Liverpool in the semifinals. You may say, but Kevin, Liverpool could have probably beaten Barcelona. No, I don't think so, because if you look at that pathetic performance Liverpool had in the final of the Champions League in 2018, where the goalkeeper made so many mistakes, it could have been Barcelona versus Real Madrid, and they could have given them a better fight. In the 2018-2019 season, we could have passed Liverpool with ease. We only had to mentally beat Liverpool and actually play as a true unit and meet Tottenham, my friends. We could have met Tottenham in the final in 2019 because we have already beaten Tottenham in the group stages earlier that season 4-2, and we could have won that Champions League. And that is what Rakitic meant when he said we could have won 1 to 2 more Champions Leagues while he was there. But Barcelona were just not interested. They lost the hunger, they lost the mentality. And so I do have a few ideas and solutions towards us not repeating the exact same mistakes that we did in the past 7 years, because we have brand new players. This is a brand new FC Barcelona. We have Lamine Yamal, we have Gavi, we have Pedri, we have Cubarsí, we have Balde, we have Marc Bernal, we have Marc Casado, we have Fermin Lopez. It's a brand new FC Barcelona, right? And so how can we learn from this? Point number 1, we need to avoid player power dominating the club for sure. We cannot have this group of players saying this is what we want to do. We don't feel like training in this way. We cannot allow for players like Pedri, Gavi, Lamine Yamal, Cubarsí to be saying in about 4 to 5 years, this is what we should be doing. There's no way. Like if you think that you are above the club, then you have to leave. I don't care if you are prime Maradona, prime Ronaldo Nazario, prime Messi. If you think that you are above the club, you must leave. And if you think that you should not be working hard, once again, you must leave. Point number 2, we need to reestablish the physical and mental preparedness, right? Something that we have lost over the past few years. Hansi Flick is working on that. That is the reason why we are seeing our group of players now work much harder on the field. So that's on point. Point number 3, we need to enhance communication between the coaches and the players. We cannot have any frictions. We need to know what players are backing us and what players are not. We need to know if these players are buying into the brand new tactics and the brand new training sessions, because we can't have these players to say, man, I have to train under Hansi Flick, but I don't feel like doing this. I don't think this is the correct way for me. I want to do something else. Like we need to have more transparency between the players and the coach. That must happen. Also, we need to prioritize development over immediate success. We cannot be a team that just says, okay, we're going to let go of Luis Enrique. We're going to let go of Neymar. We have all these funds. Let's try and bring in immediate success next season. Let's bring in this player for 80 million euros, this player for 95 million euros, this player for 111 million euros. Let's boost their salaries twice every other 2 to 3 years. No, we must prioritize developing our players. And we have that, right? Joan Laporta has introduced us to this brand new Barcelona that gives us Yamal, Cubarsí, Gavi, Balde, etc. Another point is going to be we need to build a balanced squad with depth, right? For example, back in the 2018-2019 season, if you took out Suarez and if you took out Messi and if you took out Jordi Alba, who do you have? You have nobody. You don't have a team. You're a team that just loses every game and mentally crumbles. Barcelona cannot be that, okay? If we have Gavi or Pedri out due to an injury and they're out for the next 6 to 7 months, we cannot be a team that says this team looks very different without Pedri, or this team looks very different without Balde, or this team looks very different without Lamine Yamal. We need to have great backup players for every position and for every player. If Lamine Yamal gets injured or he does not perform anymore, or for the next 4 to 5 matches, he needs to sit down and we're going to replace him with another one. Barcelona have to work on that. Same thing with Alejandro Balde. If Balde cannot give great performances, if he does not look hungry, then he needs to be benched. And that is why I am very pro with Barcelona going for Alphonso Davies in the summer of 2025 as a free agent to give more competitiveness, to have more depth, because within a season where you are required to play 60 games, right? Because because the Champions League just said you need to play 2 to 3 more matches. And during our tournament, you need to have 2 world-class players in every position for sure, okay? Because these players cannot play every match. It's impossible. You cannot have Lamine Yamal playing 60 matches for Barcelona, go into the summer and play about 8 to 10 matches for the Spanish national team. It's impossible. The Barcelona that we saw before, between 2016 and 2019, they did not even think about any of this. They did not care. They're like, we have Messi, Suarez, Rakitic, Iniesta, Alba, Piqué. No worries. We have Sergio Busquets. We're okay. But behind that, there was nothing. It was emptiness. And so whatever Rakitic had to say about this, it is 100% true. And I'm glad that he brought this up because a lot of other players do speak about how Barcelona were back then. And I'm not going to be surprised if in the future we hear Suarez after he does retire, or Lionel Messi also saying the exact same thing after he does retire, how he felt Barcelona were back in the 2016-2019 era. But that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.